Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome. It is another Tuesday, and of course, another stream. Today, we have two topics, as usual. If you only want to see one of these two, you can see in the timeline or timestamps in the description. You should see, where you can find the one that you're trying to look for. Do you want to watch? I don't know. Today I just can't. I just can't talk. So today we have two topics too, as usual. We have the 30-minute quick sketch, and then afterwards we have the Blender animation. We go back to that. We started yesterday. We talked about why your Blender animation might suck and what you can do to fix it. We've started, or we created a running animation for one of the parts of the animation that we're currently creating. So today we're going to go into that again, and we're going to talk about how to save your Blender animation. You know, maybe you've encountered that you know, at some point you just see, oh well, you work on it, but it just doesn't look good, and you just decide that you're just gonna quit it because you see the amount of work that it needs to change what you don't like about it is more than you want to spend on it, and you know, thus ruining your animation, if you want to call it that. I think there's a very easy way to, I guess, reduce the chance of that happening, and also just a way to make animation easier, because animation is quite complex when you consider all the workflow steps. There's one step that can save your animation, that can make or break your animation when it comes to whether or not you finish it. And that is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to not only talk about it, but we're actually going to execute on it. We're going to do what we talk about, so you can actually see what I mean by you know, or I'll show you what I give you a demonstration, let's say that. But of course, first thing first, we have the 30-minute quick sketch. 30-minute quick sketch, 30-minute sculpting, and then 30 minutes of post-production. And then afterwards we go into the next topic. So I don't want to waste any time. We go right into the 30-minute quick sketch, and then we go straight into today's topic. So let me go to Blender. There you go. Oh, Blender is cut up at the bottom. Let me fix that real quick. There you go. Facecam looks pretty good. Okay, perfect. So today we have I have already everything set up, so there's nothing I have to set up here anymore. We can go straight into modeling. Today we'll sculpt a Shiba Inu, one of these good old, or also called a Doge. And that's gonna be today's sculpting, I guess, subject. And where's my, oh, there it is, timer's ready. Hopefully you are ready as well to begin this quick sketch before we go into today's topic. So I would say 3, 2, 1, and go. There you go. Okay, perfect. So let's begin. Everything's running, right? Yep, perfect. Let me grab my reference. I have it on the side, and also let's go in here and begin. Yesterday we actually modeled a goat, and the goat looked pretty cool, I think. Today I had like a Shiba in mind for quite a while. I think I've done a dog before, but I can't really remember if I did. I have it in my mind that I did, but I can't remember what I did. So I just decided to do another one. This one shouldn't be too hard. There you go. I decided to do a Shiba Inu. I don't know, really. I think I just saw an image on Pinterest of one, so I decided to do that. That's sometimes how I find my inspiration, or most of the times. I always look for references when I go to Pinterest, or I use Pinterest for my references, let's say that. And I also find inspiration there. So if you ever, lack inspiration, maybe it's a good way to, find, if you want to just sculpt anything, Yeah, or you know, I had the same feeling at some point when I was drawing actually, where I was just sitting in front of the paper and just think to myself like, oh well, what could I do now? I want to draw something, but I have no idea what I want to do. And then you just end up quitting, or you just draw some weird stuff. Usually, even if you just start drawing, it actually flows, but you know, it just begins to work. That sounds weird, but you know, it just works at some point. You know, if you just start, at some point it just flows, and you get into that drawing state where you can just, you know, do, or you actually get ideas. You're getting inspired by your own ideas, and you can just start modeling whatever drawing whatever you want, or what you like to draw. And I think that can be, why is it so quiet? Music, or is that just me? Hold on. Okay, that might be just me. Okay. There you go. Let's go back into it. Hold on. I'm going to increase the volume on my headset so I can actually hear the music. Oh, there you go. Okay. Sometimes I just, you know, touch my little wheel on the side where I can regulate my volume, and then everything is messed up. There you go. Okay. That's the little nose. Zip. Okay. So, yeah. As always, I just start with the base. And then we go into some we go into more detail, as always. Yeah, so if you ever maybe have the problem of not really knowing what you want to sculpt, maybe it's a good idea to just go to Pinterest and look at what you can find. Maybe that gives you enough of an idea to start. And usually if you start, you'll realize that, you know, or you find yourself at some point just being in the flow and just, you know, drawing whatever you want, whether that is, you know, a lot of small sketches, or, you know, actually one big sketch that you just want to work on for quite a while. It just this you know, this beginning spark that is missing usually, that can be quite hard to find sometimes. So getting some inspiration is always helpful. Okay, the eyes are a little bit too far apart. I'm going to pull them closer together. There you go. Hello, hello. Nice little eyes. Hold on, I'm going to make my... Oh. That doesn't work. Okay. Yesterday we had a few... What do you call it? Like a server disconnects. And the problem with my setup is that I can't really just reconnect and use the same, I guess, stream on YouTube, which makes it annoying to restart the stream. You could just, of course, do it, but then you have two videos, which is always annoying. So I always hate it when the server just disconnects, or you disconnect from the server. But yeah, yesterday it happened. The unspeakable happened, and I was pretty lucky that it only, you know, happened in the beginning and then at the end, basically. So it didn't really interrupt the stream, which I was quite happy about. But now I'm always, you know, paranoid that it'll happen again. It never happened before, so I kind of just hope that it's just like a one-time thing. But you never know. You never know. There you go. You can never be sure of technology. You can never be sure of anything. There you go. Okay. Oh, he looks kind of sad. Let me fix that. There you go. That's better probably, right? A little bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay. He looked too sad for my taste. There you go. Okay. So let's give this some more, I guess, structure here. I'm gonna do the back of the head later, or soon, let's say. There you go. Give it a lower strength. Yeah, and that's pretty simple, pretty easy. Right, you know, I'm getting kind of into a flow of, I guess, modeling animals. It is quite, I guess, similar, or it is quite... Every animal is kind of structured in the same way, which makes it kind of easy to get in a flow. and I've really only modeled or sculpted animals for these quick sketches, which I wanted to do anyway because I never really modeled, or I never really sculpted or, you know, looked at animals to sculpt. So it's always, you know, nice to go into something else and just expand your horizon. Now it is animals, and I discover that animals are quite, I guess, similar in their structure, which makes it pretty simple to, I guess, sculpt them, because they, at least for the beginning, they're, you know, they have a very similar structure when it comes to the broad shapes. And then if you go more and more into detail, you can really distinguish the different animals. Also in their facial structure, they look quite similar. And then when it comes to oh, what is that? Oh. When it comes to the facial structure, it's of course gets a little bit different. There you go. I don't know why, but this weird mini eyebrow here in the middle kind of really gives this Shiba Inu look. I don't really know why, but it just does. Of course, we still have to maybe make this face a little bit wider, add some fur on the side. Let me see. Okay, yeah. There you go. Add some fur right there. Perfect. Maybe a little bit wider. Okay. Of course, we still need a neck, but the neck's gonna come soon. First, only gonna look at the good old face and head. Okay. The shape looks kind of weird. I'm gonna adjust it just a little bit, just slightly. There you go. It looks kind of like hair right now, as if he has like no hair, as if he's like balding at the top. So that's definitely one thing we have to change. One thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here and just add some more volume right here. Make the head just a little bit bigger. Okay. Smoothing out will probably help as well to make it look less like hair. Of course, it's still supposed to be fur, but the fur of Shiba Inus are actually quite, I guess, flat, or you know, quite smooth and soft and small, I guess, the hairs, which makes it so that we don't really need to create a big structure for the hair. We really only need to I guess we can make it smooth and still make it appear as if it's like a fur, because it fits to this sort of fur that they have, just because, you know, it is so smooth that you can't really see the individual hairs anyway. When it comes to more like wolves, for example, they probably have more, you know, have rougher hair, which makes it more appropriate to make big hair strands and sculpt these in. Shiba Inus have nice, small little triangle-shaped ears. They're actually quite small. I mean, short. Like this. Yeah, like this. Okay, perfect. Dig in here into the ear. Why do I have no strength? We need more. There you go. We also need what is it? Front faces only. There you go. And then just dig into this ear. There you go. We can probably bring some fur back in the end, because the ear is probably usually filled with hairs, or fur rather, so we don't really see the inside of the ear necessarily. There you go. Okay. Smooth it out. There you go. Okay. Oh, I actually wanted to give him like a smile, like a smiling, I guess, or open mouth face. So we have to remove the lower lip. I completely forgot about that. So let's get rid of this. We don't need you anymore. We're gonna give you a new one. New jaw. Yeah, probably over here. That's probably the furthest that it'll go. There you go. Smooth it out to not lose any geometry. Sometimes if you really dig into some areas, and when they're, you know, pretty extreme on the, I guess if they're very small, you can really mess it up, because then you can, I don't know why it happens, but sometimes dynamic topology just disconnects faces, which then means, welcome back Matthew. Hope you've enjoyed your Tuesday, and yeah, welcome back. We're currently working on the quick sketch, of course, before we go into today's topic. There you go. Oh, James, welcome back as well. Hope you had a nice way home. Nothing wild happening. A bear. Oh, I actually never... Have I done a bear? That might be an idea for tomorrow. Yeah, maybe. Probably. I'm always looking for inspiration. So, probably gonna, you know, make a bear. You know. Maybe, yeah, probably gonna do a bear tomorrow. Oh. So, when I think about, you know, coming to your questions, James, usually when it comes to these, I guess, community-driven, I guess, tools or whatever, I usually, or my rule that I've set myself is that I'm not going to care about it until there's enough demand. I had one other person ask before. I haven't really asked myself, so maybe, you know, if I would ask multiple times, maybe more people would, I guess, give their feedback on it. But yeah, I definitely have thought about it before, but I haven't really, you know, I don't want to spend too much time on it, thinking about it too early, or when there's no real demand for it. But I can definitely see the benefit for it, especially when it comes to, you know, maybe even giving feedback on stream, or just, you know, I don't know, sharing stuff or whatever. So maybe from time to time I'll just ask if there's interest. Welcome, Nathan. Hope you enjoyed your Tuesday, second day of the week. I actually thought about sculpting myself once, or before. So the idea was basically to sculpting myself. I've seen that before on YouTube. And, you know, I got this idea at some point, and yeah, I thought about it, but I don't know. It's probably pretty weird to do that when you know, do digital sculpting, because it makes more sense when you sculpt stuff, like when you sculpt like in real life, because then you can actually sculpting yourself, because if you sculpting yourself digitally, you would just sculpt yourself sitting on a PC. So if I would ever do that, maybe I would do like a real life sculpting session or whatever, which could be pretty fun. There you go. Okay, now he's actually smiling. Maybe we can even open up the mouth even more. There you go. Is that the add-on where you can scan your face, or photo scan your face, and then you can import that as a, or is that where you can just import like an image, and then it creates like a 3D model out of it? But you know, then it's not really modeling anymore. Maybe at some point we could do like a rigging. We can go over rigging, or create like a rig character, and then I don't know, I can photo scan myself and then use that, or, you know, create myself rigged. That would be pretty weird, but also pretty funny. There you go. I think the nose is a little bit too high. There you go. That's better. Okay, we have 30 minutes left. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I never really looked into add-ons too much, but I think there are quite a few that can be quite fun to just test and play around with. But I haven't never really looked into it too much. Probably quite a lot of useful, especially maybe even for sculpting, a few add-ons that can help with different you know, problems that you might have with just the vanilla vanilla tools. There you go. Okay. Is that actually too far back? Yeah, it is. I need to pull this further to the front. Zip. There you go. So if I smooth stuff, I just hold shift while using this same or any brush. So if you know, brush, you know, if you just, you know, use your mouse or whatever, you use the brush normally, you know, you use the brush, and then if you hold shift while using the brush, you basically use the smooth brush, but they just made it easier for you by basically creating a, you know, a shortcut for every brush that makes you use the smooth brush. Makes it way faster than always having to select the smooth brush. There you go. Oh. Okay, let's actually add a little bit of a neck. Without the neck, it always looks kind of weird. So let's do that real quick. There you go. Oh, go down here as well. Perfect. I actually thought about looking into this program that can turn images into 3D models to just get quick, I guess, you know, models for the quick sketches. That would be pretty cool, but I haven't really looked into it too much yet. Thanks, Up Down Design. Welcome. I'll keep it up. Yeah, this definitely doesn't fully look like a Shiba just yet, but I think we can do a few changes to make it look more like one. There you go, probably wider neck as well. Okay. Yeah, today we're gonna talk about and also execute on how you can, I guess, save your Blender animation. Basically going over the step in the Blender animation workflow that you shouldn't skip. You should always do that step. First of all, because it's actually quite fun to do, and it's also, you know, I guess essential for a good animation. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to do it, but it's definitely easier and more reliable to do it that way instead of just, I guess, starting to animate. And we're also going to look at some, I guess, professional work where they use that technique, you know, so kind of I can back up what I'm saying and we can actually just see how professionals do it at, what is it, at Pixar, I think Pixar made Toy Story 4, right? So we're going to look at some behind the scenes footage of Toy Story 4 just to kind of see what they, you know, how they use that step that we're going to talk about to really secure, or I guess manifest, the animation and the concepts to just make sure that everything looks good and nothing goes wrong or needs to be taken back a step or two to make it look better, or even just fix whatever problem there is. There you go. Okay, look at him. He actually needs some teeth. He has none right now. Let's see if we can, I'm gonna save this real quick, and then I actually want to give him a tongue. Hopefully that works, because you know, always kind of pulling out more stuff makes it hard to really work underneath and in between. But we'll see. Quick sketch day 156. Hell yeah. Little Shiba today. Hold on. There you go. 156. There you go. So I'm gonna add the teeth, the upper teeth first, because I think they're easier. What you can actually do is you can use the box hide brush, I guess you could call it. What is it called again? Box hide. It's actually called box hide. There you go. And then you can just do this and then it's gone. You basically amputated his jaw for a second, just so you can work on whatever you're trying to work on, where it's kind of, you know, in the way. There you go. Kind of adding some teeth here, pretty simple. We're not going to see them really, but they're still there. Maybe at from some angle we can actually see them. So I just add them very, very roughly. There you go. Okay, perfect. I wonder, do they have like long teeth at the top as well? They do, right? But you can't really see them. At least in the reference that I have, so I'm just gonna make it short, like this. Okay. Let's go to the lower part. How can I? Oh yeah, sculpt, show all. There you go. I think this is too long. Just a little bit like this. There you go. Okay. Welcome, Runa. Hope you enjoyed your Tuesday. Welcome. Yeah, we're doing the quick sketch right now before we go into today's topic. So, yeah, we're gonna, basically just an everyday sketch to warm up and just, you know, kind of to introduce, I guess, to begin the stream. And yeah, then we're gonna talk about today's topic, how to save your animation. We kind of talked about it yesterday, but not really in depth. So I kind of wanted to talk about it more. Or, you know, it just fit into what I wanted to do today. So, yeah. Let's see. So we have that. Let's maybe go in here and... Yeah, he definitely needs two, at least small teeth. This one can probably be a little bit higher like this. Then I can go in here and grab my good old mask brush. Go in here and create a... some teeth. You animated some moths, okay. So did you use the lazy tutorial for that, or did you make it, or did you animate them yourself? Because there's a very easy way to do it without using keyframes. Hopefully I didn't shatter your world again just like yesterday with drivers. That's quite long. Okay, yeah, that could work. Maybe they're a little bit too long, but we'll see. There you go. Okay. We need the tongue, so let's add the tongue now. The tongue is quite big, and is also supposed to kind of go out of the mouth, as the dogs usually do. You know, breathing through their mouth, leaving their tongue out of, hanging them out of the mouth, grabbing it. There you go. Need some volume right there so I can pull it out. Yeah, exactly. Lazy tutorial is really good. Did he use not drivers? Did he use what is it? Constraints for it, or what did he use to make them fly around an object? I can't remember anymore. It's been so long since I watched that. I actually probably need to go out of symmetry mode for this. So maybe we have 4 minutes left, so I'm going to pull out the tongue as the last part, just so we can remove symmetry at the last second. There you go, let's give it some more detail now. Let's go in here and use, oh, there you go, 50 resolution. And there you go. My favorite brush, oh, so... I guess my favorite brush of all of them would be the clay sculpt brush. pretty simple, I guess. But I guess if I would, or so if I only would have to have, or if I can only use one brush, I would definitely use the clay sip brush, this one right there, just because it's very, very versatile. It can create some structure on the sculpt, as you can see right here, these nice stripes or lines or whatever. It can also give you, you can remove stuff, you can build stuff, you can't really smooth stuff, but usually, especially if you create, organic characters or organic objects, it is not really necessarily necessary to really smooth stuff. I've done a quick sketch before where I haven't really sculpted smoothed anything, but it's definitely, helpful to smooth. There you go. Little nose, finish that. It's also, it's kind of weird how you how dogs have like this side piece, as if their nose still has nostrils on the top, and then you have like this, you have the hole, and then you have this weird crease on the side. There you go. It's kind of weird, but it's also, interesting. It looks like this is actually the nose, and then up top, at the bottom you kind of have just something else hanging there, or, another part of the nose. There you go. Smooth it out. Okay. Keyframe with added key shape noise. Oh, okay. Did he use key shapes or did he use a modifier? Key shape noise modifier. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he applied a modifier in the noise in the graph editor. Yeah. That's actually one thing I thought about adding to the our animation as well. Just to, it doesn't matter what you do with your hand or whatever, you always have this very, very small shake that can help make everything, the animation just look a little bit more natural. And I thought about adding that to the animation when everything is done as well. But I'm not quite sure if that could break the animation, just because I don't know if it affects the keyframe that are there already. There you go. Okay, we're gonna put in some eyes later. So right now I'm just gonna create some eyelids. There you go. Perfect, now we can shape those a little bit better. Maybe make them bigger so they look more excited, like this. Maybe a little bit smaller as well. There you go, that's pretty cute. Smooth it out. Okay. This definitely needs some work. Make them love. Oh, yeah. I've never really looked into the different types of particles. I know that there are, some that kind of revolve around each other, and then there are others that, I guess, just push each other away. But I've never really looked too deep into it. I actually tried at some point to create a laser beam that kind of builds up and then shoots. But I couldn't really do it. I just remember that there was some sort of particle that basically just gets drawn to another, I think, or like an emitter. Not emitter, like a force. But the biggest problem that I was facing in just, I guess, collecting all these particles so that they can then be shot away was that... Because if you use like oh, it's already over. Oh no, I completely forgot time. But I think, I think we can work with this. Hold on. So, welcome back, Zachary. Hope you've enjoyed your Tuesday as well, not just your Monday. Let's add some eyes. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. The problem was if you use a point for the, I guess, what do you call it? Like for the gravity. So my idea was basically to have like a ring emitter or 4 emitters on, 4 sides that then emit these particles on the on the vertices, so that they have like these lines going into the middle, similar to the Death Star, or the is it called like the Death Star from Star Wars, where everything like is collected in the middle, and then pew, they shoot it away into this big laser. I tried to create that. I actually managed to collect them, but the biggest problem was that I had to fix the problem of if you use like just a very, very small point where everything gets drawn into. The problem is that they, you know, the closer they get to the middle, they get more and more speed, which also then means that they, you know, shoot out on the other side. Which of course, you know, doesn't really work. It's supposed to, you know, collect in the middle. And yeah, that was the biggest problem that I had. The biggest problem afterwards was to get them to, you know, be shot away, or, you know, the shooting part was the hardest part. I think I stopped there. I think I did it like at work, just trying to figure out how to use particles to create like some sort of beam. But then had some more work to do. There you go. Okay. This one's quite rough actually. But it's, you know, sometimes it just do be like that. We know, yeah, I'm not gonna put it too smooth. Smooth just makes everything even less detailed, I guess. Okay. So I don't even know if yeah, I guess I learned sculpting just how I learned Blender in general, where I just looked, or, you know, did a basic tutorial on just how to learn the basics, and then I basically just started doing my own projects. And that's how I learned sculpting. Nothing really fancy about it. Just basically trying to, or, you know, once I know the basics, that's usually how I learn any, I guess, technical skills. I learn the basics, and then I do projects that are supposed, or with every project that I do, I try to push what I already know. You know, kind of getting into some uncomfortable territory by maybe, you know, oh, well, I've done a lot of sculpts now. Maybe I can add maybe more, you know, I've done a few head sculpts now. Let's add the full neck. Let's add the full upper body. Maybe add some arms. Just, you know, pushing what you do every time, just a little bit more. And that's how you get better. Gradually. You can, of course, also just, you know, focus on getting better. But in my opinion, it's more fun to do it that way, because then you can at least, you know, express your creativity a little bit more. Because if you just, you know, sculpt the upper body 50 times, that's kind of boring to me. It's probably more effective maybe, but I don't know. You know, it's a hobby and it's supposed to be fun. So, yeah. Yeah, particles aren't really something I've really looked into too much, except for using them for atmospheres. Then I use them quite a lot now. Like for creating like air particles, just like on a, you know, still frame. That works quite well. Or for stuff like, you know, before geometry nodes were a thing, using them for, you know, a spread of, I guess, you know, stones on the ground. Okay, we need lighting as well, of course. Look at him. He looks happy, but he will look even happier once we have some lighting. There you go. Grab it from one of the old quick sketches. Probably this one. There you go. Okay. He's very smooth. Oh no. I actually have a name for this. Wait. I actually don't use the Boolean tool add-on. Or did I just miss did I have it? I just use the Boolean modifier, and then I just use the cube to make it, you know, cut it off back there. Do I have it? Hold on, let me see. Maybe it's something I can't really remember what it does. Hold on. Oh, why I don't use it. What does it do? Hold on. Bool tool. Okay, let's activate it. Let's see. What is it? Shift Control B? Oh. Ah. Can you just select 2 pieces and then you can say... Let's see. Difference? Ah. Oh. Hell yeah. Wait, is that actually already applied? Oh, that's sick. Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you for that suggestion. That's actually very, very helpful. Perfect. Wow. Okay. You know, those are just, you know, these small things that you just find out at some point and just make your whole workflow so much easier. It's such a simple thing, but it, you know, saves you so much time. Okay, let's get this done. Oh, I actually forgot to to pull the tongue out, but you know, what can you do? Okay, so if you have any suggestions on what this quick schedule is supposed to be called, suggestions, or you know, I'm open for suggestions. I have a name already. If there's nothing, you know, if there are no cool suggestions, I guess. Oh, I need the shader as well. Maybe the shader will help, although I'm kind of doubt it because the shader kind of requires some, I guess, some peaks and valleys. Let's see. Brush boolean. Ah. Okay, let's get this done. Wait, oh, brush tool, hold on. Brush boolean. So I'm gonna use a cube again. I'm gonna use a sphere now, just to kind of mix it up. Let's see, so if we have these two. Brush boolean. Difference. Okay. So, oh, okay, so that means that it still keeps the modifier. So you can either say it already applies it, or you can just say that it, you know, you either skip the step of applying it or you keep it. Okay, that's good to know. Perfect, that's actually good to know. Okay, yeah, that's why I said, you know, I've never really looked into booleans, or I mean add-ons, but they can be probably very, very helpful and just speed up the process. You know, but I never really looked into them too much. There you go. Make the eyes black as well. Shiny and black. And then we're gonna give it a small little reflection in the eye to make it look more alive. There you go. Look at him. Oh, it's actually, there's actually like a reflection. Let's give him 2. Where's the good old comic-like reflection? I think it's this one, right? No, it's this one. Oh. There you go. Look at him. Wait. We need to increase the size. There you go. Ah. Yeah, that might be too big. Actually. Wait. Pull it over here. Yeah, it kind of dims out, but yeah, I like it. I'm gonna keep it there. Okay. Let's get this done. I want to get into the animation. Okay, let's do the sketch render, just so we can apply the glare node in the post-production tab. There you go. Render result. Let's render it. Perfect. Okay. Let's go into here. Add the glare node. Very, very simple. Just to kind of get this glow in there. I want actually to increase the threshold, maybe to 2. That's too much. Is it? Maybe 1.5. And then set it to high so that the glow isn't too strong. Yeah, that's okay. I actually lost what was up here still, but I think that's okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. Let's set it to 100%, and then we can do the full render with 256 samples. Okay. Gotta drink something real quick. Okay, after this, we're gonna go into Photoshop and just do some, I guess, basic post-production. Then, yeah, we're done. So yesterday we talked about ways to fix or improve your animation. What could make your animation look bad, and also, yeah, basically how you can fix it. Going over different, I guess, theories, and also demonstrating these, I guess, techniques by animating our rig model and creating a running animation. That's what we've done yesterday. And today we're going to go into the technique or the step of in the workflow that is basically essential or very, very helpful. Basically the safety ring for your animation. That is the step where you basically make sure that everything looks right, so that you can then go into the next step and detail everything. We have 1 minute 45 left. It actually goes higher. I don't really know what oh no, that's 43 seconds left. Okay. Yeah, so today we're gonna animate some more. We're actually not gonna work on the running animation anymore. We're actually gonna go into, I guess, so the plan today is to, I guess, go over the whole animation. We'll see how far we can get, but I'm quite confident that we can at least go from start to end. But yeah, we'll see how far we can get. Of course, this animation, we're gonna work on this animation throughout the whole week. So tomorrow and Thursday as well. Probably talking about a few different, I guess, topics as well. And then, yeah, maybe, I don't really know if we can finish the animation this week, just because it's quite, I guess, elaborate for just like, a week. But we'll see. Maybe we'll, do some, 1 or 2 streams next week as well. We'll see. But then it'll probably will be less about animation, more about, I guess, environment building or whatever. We'll see. Quick sketch day 156, 1920 by 1920. Okay. Let's get into Photoshop. Where's my image? There it is. Okay, so, oh, wrong window. There you go. There he is. Let's do some post-production. The easiest way, I guess, the usual stuff that I do is I add some contrast. There you go. It doesn't really help too much, but it helps a little bit. What really helps is using a selective color correction adjustment there, and then you just bumping down the gray tones a little bit. You can probably do the same in Blender as well. It is not, you don't have to use Photoshop to do these changes. I just use Photoshop because you can actually work in real time. With Blender, I don't know why it does that, but I think because the image is saved in the cache, it actually it needs some time to calculate all the changes. So if you just want to change the saturation by like 1, then it has to calculate the change, which means you can't just, drag this, this thingy here around to just see the changes immediately. You always have to wait for it to calculate, which is kind of annoying and takes longer. So that's why I do it in Photoshop. Oh, we need one more thing, which is the quick sketch texture. We've been using that for quite a while now. I actually want to, get rid of it at some point. But until we have the color back, we will not skip a day where we don't use this texture. I think in 2 or so I forgot to use this texture, but now it's like just like a habit that I always use it, that I can't forget it anymore. Okay, that's it. That's the final version. So which means I'm gonna import it into my phone, gonna upload it to social media, and while that's happening, you're gonna see a quick compilation, I guess a transition compilation of what we've done in February and March before we go into today's topic. How to save. No, what was the title again? I can't even remember. Save your Blender animations with this workflow, or yeah, with this workflow, which is going to be today's topic. So right after the quick, the compilation, we're going to go into it. There you go. Okay, perfect. Import it into my phone. Okay, let's go back to Blender and open up the file that we're going to work on, or the animation, of course. Import, there it is. I can probably show you what we've done yesterday. Look at him. There he is. That's what we've done yesterday. We've been working on the running animation. You can see it right there. It's still probably a little bit stiff. We can probably do some more changes, I guess optimize it more, but that's where we left off. I actually off stream just changed the head a little bit, but everything else we've done on stream. So today we're gonna go into the rest of the animation. But before we do that, we need to upload. That means you're gonna see a quick compilation, which will happen in just a few minutes, because I'm trying to stall right now so I can import this image into my into my phone. Hold on, I'm just gonna let this play for you so you have something to look at. There you go, look at him. Okay, there you go. Where is it? There it is. Okay. The running man, Usain Bolt, or also Roberto. Okay. So you're gonna see a 3-minute compilation, and then once that's done, we're gonna go back into this. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in 3 minutes. there you go. Oh, there he is, still running. Perfect. Okay, so let's get into today's topic. Let's talk about how you can save your Blender animation. So, or the breaking, or yeah, let's say the breaking point, or the technique, the workflow that you can do, that you can use, that you should use to make your animations just, I guess, more safer. You know, maybe you had that before. You're working on an animation, and then at some point you just realize, well, I actually don't like what I've been working on for the past 3 hours. I could also, go back and fix all the keyframes, like all the 50, 60, 100 keyframes, probably even more. Or I could just scrap it. And thus, you have another ruined animation. And I wanted to talk about, I guess, a simple animation, a simple, I guess, way and this important step in the workflow of animations that you should always, I guess, use to make sure that, or to make it more reliable that your animations actually go through and that you finish your animations. So let's keep him running for a little bit. I actually want to show you a small video. Just to kind of, I guess, show you what I mean when it comes to how to secure your animations. So I watched it before, so I can just go to my history, I guess. Where is it? Show me. There it is. No, that's not it. There it is. Okay, so we're gonna look at a video called "How Pixar's Toy Story 4 Was Animated," and there they talk about how, yeah, they animated their characters. We're gonna skim through it a little bit. We're not gonna watch the whole video. We're just gonna go, I guess, through their process and what part of the process I am more referring to when it comes to saving your animation, or how they make it. How does Pixar do it that they can always, create animations and seemingly have no huge problems, I guess, or no real, cancelled movies? What's the workflow to secure that the end product actually looks like, it's supposed to, or it looks good? Maybe sometimes you have like an idea, like a vague idea, but then, the more you work on it, you kind of realize, oh, well, it actually doesn't work that well. There's a simple or a specific workflow and one important step that we're going to work on today that will make sure that everything will look good in the end. So let's go into here. There you go. Oh, that's the Running Man. I don't want to look at the Running Man. I want to look at this. So let's look at let's look at the steps that they go through to make their animations actually, just like look at the workflow. Then we're going to focus on the part of their workflow that we will, that we want to focus on today. So yeah, they're kind of talking about, this how they create their animations. Okay, yeah, first of all, of course, they create a storyboard. So storyboard isn't really what I'm going to talk about today. Storyboard can be very important. But I think a storyboard is more important when you create very, very elaborate animations, elaborate stories, because then you can first visualize your animation before you really do it. Before you, go into, I guess, working in 3D even. Spending as little time as possible to kind of just visualize what the scene or even like the animation should look like. Creating a storyboard, creating sketches, just to kind of, visualize what it's going to look like in the end. That's not really what I'm trying to, what we're going to talk about today. Sound effects, nope, also not that one. Concept art, of course, that would be the next step for them if they want to create a fully commercial, full movie, designing characters and creating concept art to kind of just visualize what the characters could look like in the end, so that they don't, create 3D models before they actually know what they're supposed to look like. It takes a lot of time to create 3D models, so knowing what they are exactly supposed to look like in the end is very helpful in saving time. But that is not what I'm going to talk about. color, yeah, blah, 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 blah. We don't need colors. Rigging, rigging isn't what we want to talk about. We'll be talking about animation, so that would be the next step. They talk about shading as well, but there it is. Wait, is this one? Nope, not this one. It's almost there. Hold on. Show me. Come on. So many shaders. Voicing. Nope, we don't need voice. Oh, there it is. Layout. The layout. We talked about it yesterday slightly. We talked about it, I guess, for a brief time. We talked about basically everything that you create can be referred back to a cake. Basically, a cake has different layers. You have the dough at the bottom, and then you have maybe some sort of, I don't really know how to call this, like the fruity layer. You have the sprinkles on top, and every single layer gets built on top of the previous one, which means you start with the very basic, I guess, ground layer, then you add more on top of it, then you add the next layer on top of it, and you always focus on the one step that you are working on currently, and don't really care about the step that comes afterwards. You only really focus on the step that you currently work on. And the step that I want to talk about today is the layout phase. The layout phase is basically, or it's the phase that is probably the most important, just because in the layout phase you actually create the scenes, the 3D scenes, and you can then visualize what they're going to look like. You can see they have very, very rough animations. It is only really important to see, I guess, what it will look like visually. It is not really about the perfectly, flawlessly executed animation. It is more about seeing that what you try to create works. Maybe you kind of see in your head already, you can see they don't even move. Maybe sometimes they just, move forward like this. Or, you can see right there, he just, flies forward with no animation. It is just, kind of to, first of all, create the feel, to kind of see if the layout works, if the shots for the camera work, if the camera's in a good position, the lighting works, and all that stuff, where you can place like decoration or whatever. All that you can sketch out by creating basically the most basic animation that you can, that you can, basically just moving them without big animations like the arms or whatever. And that's actually what we've done before. I think we started this animation probably 2 months ago. I think we started. We threaded the environment, as you can see in here. Wait, that's not the environment. So we threaded an environment. I don't want to show it right now. Or actually, let's show it. There you go. That's the environment. Basically, this room, and then he kind of comes from here, runs through this. I can actually show you the whole animation, I guess. So you see what we're working with today. Hold on, I want to show the whole thing. And what we're going to do today is we've basically created a very, very basic layout already. I'm going to show you what the layout looks like today, but I think you can detail the layout more before you go into the real animation. Yesterday we've been working on the animation part, talking about the workflow kit, or improvements for your animation, what you can do to improve them. But today I kind of want to go more over the first step of every animation that can make or break your animation, depending on if you do it or not. Because think about it, there are, I guess, 2 mindsets that come to my mind when it comes to animations. I think I've done both in the past. The one I'm doing now, of course. The first one being, oh well, I actually have like a good idea on what the beginning will look like, so why don't I just, basically create a wave of, I basically just work from the beginning to the end, detailing or creating the whole animation from beginning to end, from very, very rough to very detailed in the beginning, and then rough detail, rough detail, rough detail, rough detail, rough detail, until I reach the end. Or, welcome back, Ronak. Hope you've enjoyed your weekend, and hope you've enjoyed your Tuesday as well, and of course your Monday as well. Hope everything's been going well with your team. Yeah, so you can. I had 2 mindsets. Either you basically say, okay, well, let's begin by just animating him in this corridor, running through this, through this corridor running through the doors, and then to the end, and basically going from starting very detailed, starting to create the animation very, very detailed, and then basically finishing the beginning and going from beginning to end, finishing beginning, then middle, then end, and thus finishing the animation. The problem with that is these days, every day, yeah, I mean, right now you can't really go out or whatever really that much, so it's really pretty similar every day. But at least if you game, then it's not as boring, I guess. But there's another mindset that Pixar always also uses, that you can see in this video. They do it in a way that we've done yesterday as well, which is you create a very, very rough sketch of the animation, and then once you have the very, very rough sketch and you actually know what you how it looks like, you can see, or why have I created this? I'm going to show you the rough sketch that we've done 2 months ago. So you can see nothing happens, then he kind of runs around the corner, runs around, and then goes through the store, busts through the door, then he's running, looking back, looking at what is following him. He gets to this, I guess, lever or whatever. He sees, oh, the door, the lever opens the door, I want to get through the door. He climbs up the ladder. I haven't really I haven't made everything visible. He runs through there. He sees, oh, if I jump down here, I can break through. I mean, I can pull the lever. Oh no, the floor breaks. He breaks through, and then he's in this super colorful environment where he didn't see some sort of light in the end, and he kind of tries to reach the light by flying to it. And doing it that way, you can, first of all, what we've been doing basically is we've created the sketch. The sketch is not only for you to see the animation, or it's not really about the animation, it's more about the pacing of the animation. The biggest problem here is, if you want to change your animation, is you work on your animation, for example, the running animation, like over here. Wait, where is he? There he is. Show me your running animation. Oh, there it is. The worst thing that could happen to you is that you create the running animation, but then you realize, well, he runs quite quick. You want him to run this quick, but then he does this because you actually put the keyframes too close together, and then you have to basically pull them, apart. In After Effects, it's actually quite simple because you can just select all the keyframes, and then you can hold Alt and just pull them all out, apart, which spaces them out evenly, or pulls them apart evenly, like rubber, or like chewing gum. But I don't know if that works in Blender as well. So wait, I actually want to try this. What if I select these two? Oh, that actually works. So you can use scaling, which means, hold on, I actually want to try this. So maybe you can at least alleviate the effect. If you select this, you can see how fast it is now. And then if I use the scale tool, oh, whip, scale, wait, maybe it doesn't work, hold on. Oh, scale, so I just used the scale tool, what is going on here? Maybe those are too many. Yeah, that works, but why does that work? So you can actually scale these keyframes, which is quite interesting, but yeah, it is still a hassle, or quite annoying, to really space them out better so that you maybe run slower. So the solution for that is using the sketch to create the pacing. That is what we've done here. The sketch basically, we try to create the pacing before the animation, because the pacing oftentimes is more important than the actual animation, because the animation basically just makes the pacing look, I guess, better. The pacing is basically what you need to consider more than the actual movement, at least in the beginning, because it's harder to, stretch out the keyframes. That's why we've created these very, very, I guess, few keyframes first, which we can now use now that we are content with the pacing. We can see, oh, well, so first of all, we had some problems with, oh, well, how fast is he supposed to you know, how fast is he supposed to run? You know, oh, is that a good speed? And we kind of decided, yeah, well, that looks like a good speed. The speed he runs at. And also, you know, how fast does he have to climb the ladder and all that stuff. Deciding that beforehand, of course, is way easier before really going into detail with the movement. And once you have basically the sketch with the pacing, you can now go into this and you can still keep these keyframes. You don't have to replace them because you basically just you move the rig by applying the keyframes to the whole armature. So there are two layers on the armature. You either have the armature itself, which you can move, of course. It has its own keyframe, location or parameters that you can keyframe, which we've done here. You can see keyframes right there, keyframes right there. But then if you go into the character, you can see that we have all these individual parts as well that all can be keyframed individually. And that means that you can still keep the pace, but apply the keyframes, create the animation afterwards without having to replace the keyframes that we created for the pace. And this way, you can make sure that you can start even the animation very rough and then go into more and more detail to make the animation more and more detailed. Which also means that with every step of adding more detail, you can make sure that the whole animation looks good. What I mean is basically, yeah, you add more and more detail to the animation. That's what we've done for the running animation as well. We yesterday started by, this animation looks quite, I guess, detailed here. See how it's running. We started by just basically, we started by animating the arms, nothing else, just the arms and the legs, so that these actually have the running motion. Then we added we added more detail, like we created keyframes in between these big keyframes. We started with, I think, 6 keyframes, or 4 or 5, I don't remember. But then there were spaced out quite a lot. And then we added a step in between these keyframes to make the animation smoother. Then next step we would add more pieces of this rig into the animation. We made, for example, we rotated his upper body, we rotated his lower body. All that stuff is basically detailing the animation. But that can only really happen, or we can only reliably do that after we basically made sure that the animation, the pacing, and the overall look looks good. So with this basically now being ready, or with this current state, what we're going to do today is basically, now that we have the pace, we're going to do the same that we've done for this piece here, for this part, animating him. But we're probably not going to go into that much detail today. What we're going to do today is we're going to create rough animations for everything. So when he's running around the corner right there, trying to duck under these pipes that should be there, and basically giving this, still frame, I guess, of him a very rough animation. To get into the next, I guess, detail step, we now go from sliding over the ground, adding rough animations, so that we can then see, oh well, do these rough animations look good? Do they need some changes? If they do need some changes, well, is it easy to, it should still be pretty easy to change them, just because we have so few keyframes that we have to change. So yeah, the next step would be to go through the whole animation very, very rough, just adding a few keyframes to create the movement. Once we have that, and if we're happy with what we have, we can then go into it again and go start over again, and then adding more keyframes. Okay, well, that looks pretty good. Maybe we have to do a few changes, maybe not. Okay, but that looks pretty good. Let's go back in again and add more keyframes, more, and you could just go through more, and with every step where you add more detail to your animation, you make sure that it looks good. Which means that's what we're going to do today, and that's how you can save your animation. Maybe you think, yeah, well, we talked about it before, but Oh, dude, I've been working on this animation for 3 hours now, but it looks so weird. Maybe, yeah, the pacing is bad, or I don't know. I don't like this. I want him to jump before he runs or whatever, or look back or whatever. But now I already have the jumping animation before the running animation. Well, what do? Well, you could either delete the whole keyframe or you just scrap the animation, I guess. And to prevent that, you have this technique to, I guess, save your animation and basically raise it slowly instead of trying to force it, I guess. So yeah, or raise it evenly instead of having these disproportionate points or levels of detail everywhere. Yeah, that's how you can save your animation, by going and adding more and more detail throughout the whole animation, to sum it up. Oh, a little bit of red skin. Too much firework watching. Yeah, I mean, we don't really have, roof balconies necessarily. Of course we have like